$1 million in cash right now, or a single penny that doubles every day for 30 days? Which would you take? Day 1, 1 cent. Day 10, $5. Day 20, $5,000. Day 30, over $5 million. The penny wins. It's not even close. And this is the power of compound interest. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. He said, "Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it." But here's the problem. Most people have heard this. They know compound interest is important, but they don't actually understand how it works. They see the formulas, their eyes glaze over, and they move on. Today, we're going to change that. In the next 10 minutes, you'll see compound interest work. Not with boring spreadsheets, but with visualizations that make the math click. You'll understand why starting early matters so much. Learn the rule of 72 to calculate growth in your head, and avoid the 3 biggest misconceptions that trip people up. Let's get into it. Let's start with the basics. What's the actual difference between simple and compound interest? Imagine you invest $1,000 at 10% interest. With simple interest, you earn the same amount every single year. 10% of your original $1,000 is $100. Year 1, 100. Year 2, 100. Year 10, 100. Always the same. After 10 years, you have $2,000. Respectable. But with compound interest, something different happens. You earn interest on your interest. Year 1, you earn $100, same as simple. But year 2, you earn 10% of $1,100. That's $110. Each year, the amount you earn grows because your base is getting bigger. After 10 years, compound interest gives you $2,593. But here's where it gets wild. Let's speed up time. At 30 years, simple interest gives you $4,000. Compound, over $17,000. Same starting amount, same interest rate. The only difference is whether your interest earns interest. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history, has a favorite way to explain compound interest. He calls it the snowball effect. It was so central to his thinking that his biography is literally titled The Snowball. Picture a small snowball at the top of a hill. You give it a push. As it rolls, it picks up more snow. At first, the gains are small. The ball is tiny, so it can only collect a thin layer. But as the ball gets bigger, each rotation picks up more and more snow. The surface area has increased. By the time it reaches the bottom, that tiny snowball has become a boulder. This is exactly what happens with your money. The longer you let it roll, the more it picks up. And here's the key insight Buffett emphasizes. There are 2 things that make a snowball massive. 1, how wet and sticky the snow is. That's your interest rate. 2, how long the hill is. That's time. And between those 2 factors, time is far more powerful. Because unlike interest rates, time is something you can control by starting early. If you're starting to see why this matters, hit that like button. It helps more people discover this. Now let's look at the actual math. Don't worry, we'll make this visual. A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the power of N and T. A is your final amount, what you end up with. P is your principal, what you start with. R is your interest rate as a decimal. N is how many times per year your interest compounds. And T is time in years. Plug in the numbers, and you can calculate exactly what your money will become. But here's something most people don't realize. That and variable, how often you compound, actually matters. Let's take the same $1,000 at 10% for 30 years. Yearly compounding, $17,000. Monthly, nearly $20,000. Daily, over $20,000. Same money, same rate, same time. But compounding more frequently earns you an extra $2,000. Now here's a mental shortcut that will change how you think about money. The rule of 72. To figure out how long it takes your money to double, just divide 72 by your interest rate. 6% return, 72 divided by 6. 12 years to double. 8%? 9 years? 10%? Just over 7 years. This means at 10%, your money doesn't just grow, it doubles every 7 years. And each time it doubles, the next doubling is twice as powerful. Quick question for the comments. What interest rate are you currently getting on your investments? Drop it below. I'm curious what everyone's working with. Now let's clear up 3 things. People get wrong about compound interest. These misconceptions cost people real money. Misconception 1, my 401k automatically compounds. This is dangerously wrong. A 401k or IRA is just a container, a tax-advantaged holding account. The account itself doesn't compound anything. The investments you choose inside it might. If you put money in a 401k and leave it in cash, it just sits there. You need to actually invest it in funds that grow. Misconception 2, doubling my investment doubles my final result. Here's the math that surprises people. If you invest $100 for 30 years at 10%, you get $1,749. If you double to $200, you get $3,498. Exactly double. But here's the thing. Doubling your time is way more powerful. That same $100 for 60 years? Over $300,000. Time beats money. Every time. Misconception 3, stocks pay compound interest. Technically, stocks don't pay interest at all. They pay dividends and generate capital gains. These can compound when you reinvest them, but it's not the same as the guaranteed compound interest you'd get from a savings account or bond. The compounding still works. It's just happening through reinvested growth rather than interest payments. Understanding this matters when you're comparing investment options and their actual returns. Let's make this real. Say you're 25 years old and you start investing $200 a month at a 7% average annual return, which is conservative for the stock market. Here's what happens. By 65, you've contributed $96,000 of your own money, but your account is worth $528,000. Now let's say you wait until 35 to start. Same $200 a month. Same 7%. You contribute $72,000 of your own money. Your final total? $244,000, less than half. By waiting just 10 years, you lost out on $283,000. Not because you invested less money, you only invested $24,000 less, but because you gave compound interest less time to work. If this is making you think differently about your money, consider subscribing. We break down complex finance topics like this every week. Let's recap what we covered. 1. Compound interest means earning interest on your interest, not just your original investment. That's what creates exponential growth. 2. Time is more powerful than interest rate. The earlier you start, the longer your snowball has to roll. 3. Use the rule of 72 to estimate doubling time. Just divide 72 by your interest rate. 4. Compounding frequency adds up. Daily beats monthly beats yearly. 5. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Compound interest isn't complicated. It's just math working in your favor, if you give it enough time. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you in the next one.